Okay, and then when those things don't work, see, a little bit of everything, and then when those things don't work, what happens?
Go to the doctor.
Go to the doctor. When do you go to the doctor?
As soon as I get a little bit anxious about it.
As soon as possible, don't you?
That's right.
Do you wait 15 days?
No, I would not. No.
Because what can happen?
Anything could happen, I'm not a doctor. So.
Yeah, but it could become serious.
It could become very serious.
Could become very serious. Does it happen with everybody? Do we have responsible parents here? So normally what we do, and I do the same, is if I see that there's an infection, I take it to the doctor. That's normally the way it should be. Okay? What happens in the organizations? Do you think it's the same way? We have a problem, we have an issue, we have a virus, something that is affecting us. What happens? What is? Sorry? Take it to HR, maybe throw the monkey. What else? What else happens? You just live with it, and then after 10 years, what do you say? This is how we do things here. This is our culture. So we have a lot, we live with a lot of viruses. We live with a lot of situations in which, come and join us. We're talking about viruses. This is about
catch a virus, right?
Yeah. Catch the monkey.
Catch the monkey.
So we live with a lot of those things, and it's basically, you have the virus here, and it's growing, and it's growing, and it's growing, and it becomes heavy. So it's becoming a gorilla. So when somebody new comes in, what do you say? You cannot talk to this manager, you cannot change this because he's been here forever and those things are the way he wants. We cannot change these kind of things. So there's a lot of monkeys, there's a lot of viruses that we have in the organization that we should be able to eliminate. So what we say, have a space to include more if you want. I think it's from 30 to 35 or something like that. What we have defined in RBL is that we pay royalty for every, it's $5 for every virus that is valid to be included in the list to share with companies worldwide. So there's other companies that have given us, that we pay them the $5 so that they were included there and you get the benefit of them and maybe somebody else can find that there's a virus that can be included there. So be creative. If you want to join one with 7, that's perfect. Try to identify. So what we're going to do is to first review, first individually, 15 minutes. Let's make it 10 minutes because we don't have a lot of time. 10 minutes individually to read the 30 viruses that you have there, to try to identify another one if you feel that there's one missing. Review them from the list. Try to identify the ones that are problematic for Rio Tinto, thinking about the HR community. Is it clear? So it's not about somebody else, it's what affects us. What are our viruses and what can we do with that? Second, select from those 30 viruses, try to identify 2 or 3. If you identify 3, that's okay. Try to be very specific in terms of identifying that individually. Then in your tables, try to create a consensus in terms of the 2 or 3 that are most critical for the HR community. Okay? So first individually, select them, then work as a group, then we're going to consolidate that and try to identify 4 or 5 viruses that are infecting us, that we feel consistently that we need to do something about them. Then after that, we're going to work on that. So it's not only to identify the virus, but I want examples in terms of how they are being infecting the HR community. What the people in the US or people in Europe or India or China. So it's about understanding that it shouldn't be a buzzword. It's creating the spaces to say, okay, we have to work together. Yeah. This is the reality. This is what we have. So let's make it happen. Okay, 2 more comments?
So actually adding to Shilpali's comment, pretty much my point is around what actions are we taking really to drive it forward. An example that I wanted to share is
not necessarily on the shoes of the other kind of generation, because we have differences, but if you put yourself on the shoes of the other person, many people have called this situational leadership, many people have called this emotional intelligence, many people call it different ways. It's just understand, value on the eyes of the receiver again. Put yourself on the shoes of the other person. Osa?
Just one comment on diversity.
Being a technical person to become leaders, which is different. Becoming leaders is dealing with this kind of issues, being able to deal with talent and work alongside. Lima?
Let's start this way. Sure.
Just one comment. I spent.
Thank you. This is about obviously tapping the intelligence and styles and experiences from different people. We have a case, and this is a great story of something that we're doing with the HR Business Partners program. It's funny because we put people together from different nationalities to work on a project, but it was really interesting. We put them with a lot of stress to work on the project and to present the results. One person took the laptop, started to work and type the process. Then he says, wow, this is in Arabic. I don't know the keywords, the keyboard. And some of you people have lived that experience. So they were saying, wow, I don't understand this. It's how can we create a community when I don't understand this keyboard. So you do it. And it's interesting to understand, just as you mentioned, not only the clients, the patients, the world is like that. So we need to be pioneers in those kind of things. That doesn't mean that we just confuse ourselves with all the things that is going on, because on the other hand, is sit together and make it happen. Sometimes we as HR, we plan 80%. Somebody mentioned it this morning. The plan of the plan. We plan it the 80% of the time. We're very good at planning. Then in terms of execution and implementation, we dedicate 20%. But when we finish that, we need to start planning again because it's the next year. Have you seen those kind of, when you do employee engagement service or climate service and all these kind of things, a bunch of people working 6 months to plan the thing, and we did it. Then when we get the results, wow, we don't have a lot of time to do that, because in 3 months we need to start planning again. So we need to be able to be more tactical and more executive. What I would like you to do is please listen to the instructions. Number one, push. Push, number one. Push, push, push. Push. Stop. What are you guys doing?
Push.
Number one, but what about number two? Who told number two to assist? You were okay, without hurting each other, can number one push and number two just don't resist?
Okay.
Okay, there's going to be actions. Stop. We're going to have some actions.
Or dancing.
So let's say that you're number one, okay, and I'm number two. You push. Push harder, push.